So for my informative speech, I did mine on soccer, and I know that the criteria was to do something you find interesting or something else someone else could find interesting. So I did mine on soccer. Now, whether you're a sports person or not a sports person, this could immediately not be interesting to you. But if you are a sports person and you like sports, maybe this is your cup of tea. So I did mine on soccer, the sport of soccer, and let's get into it. So, soccer itself isn't really looked at as probably a big sport. So, I mean, in America, the big sports, as like I said, football, basketball, baseball. But I did in the speech just kind of maybe get a new understanding of soccer. So, um, soccer, I mean, it's also known as football in Europe. But I would say that the best part about it is it's kind of like football in some ways. So you're still on a field, whether that's grass or turf. The games are significantly longer than a football game. The games are about 90 minutes, and rather than being football and considering that football uses their hands all the time, soccer is the complete opposite, where you use your feet 90% of the time. And the only time that you aren't using your feet is if you're the goalkeeper and saving the ball from the goal. Um, um, so now I'm going to kind of teach the history of soccer. So the history of soccer is around the 19th century. It kind of was created in England, and it was like a very successful sport. Like, it immediately took off. It became a big part of entertainment. It had a huge success, and just it kind of boosted the overall, I would say, like audience or viewing of sports. So it was a huge success, and they originally, I mean, it was called football in Europe. It's still called football in Europe. So when people say soccer or football, you can usually probably get into an argument because people from Europe like to call it football. People from America like to call it soccer. So it's a huge, just a huge like argument. But call it whatever you desire. But yeah, that's where it was created. But let's talk about soccer in the U.S. While soccer isn't as big in America as it is in Europe, it has gained success in America the last few years. Myself, I've went to a few games where it's grew. I go to a lot of the Charlotte games, and it continues to grow in America as a top sport. I would say the biggest factor to help it grow is that if you know soccer or anybody, there's a guy named Lionel Messi, the goat of soccer, may I say. He kind of he switched from Europe and he came to America to play soccer, and that has gained a lot of success. And I would say he's a big factor of why soccer is continuing to grow in the U.S. and why it does grow in the U.S. Um, like I said, it's bigger around the world, but let's talk about it in the sense of a whole world. So popularity of the soccer around the world consists of many events and trials, and one of the biggest and probably always be the biggest factors of sports and like an event is the World Cup. Firstly, the World Cup is played every 4 years, and that's probably why it's a huge thing because people wait so long to watch it. So when they do watch it, it's a lot of people. Um, the second thing is it involves countries, so a lot of people from different areas, countries, regions, and of different backgrounds watch to support their team or country, whatever they desire. And I think if I read right, I think last year's World Cup, or it was 2022, I think it had around 2 to 3 billion, maybe more, that watched it. But that's just the biggest thing I would say. Um, the difficulty of soccer, I could say. So soccer is a very difficult sport. It's very looked down upon in America because when people watch football and soccer, they may say soccer is not as physical. But I can shut that argument down. I've played soccer for probably 12 to 13 years, and I've had physical altercations all out through the game. So when people say that, it's just like, no, I'm sorry, but no, it's a very physical sport. Um, and it's a very technical sport. As today, I've played for so many years. I've played in college. I do not play anymore, but I would say there's still things today that I can't do that I've practiced for a long time and still haven't mastered. And I think with saying that, I kind of end my speech. So I end it with just saying that if you enjoy sports or just trying new things, I would say to try to watch soccer, because at the end of the day, you may have heard something about it or kind of formed a opinion off of it based on what you heard. But I'll say just try new things. So I hope you've enjoyed my speech, found it informative, and have a good day.